And hello, we're live. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Vertical Soul. I'm one of your hosts, Anita. My pronouns are she, they. Let's get into it. We missed you. Hi, down here.
Oh, that's my turn to go. It's Noir. It's your boy. I have pronouns, and here they are. They're good ones. They're he and they're also they. They he and they're they. Use them how you like. You know. You one at a time or together. I don't fucking know. Shit. It's been a minute. I forgot how to start this show. We've got a fantastic guest. Please introduce yourself before I make a ask of myself.
You can't make me follow that, man. Come on. Hello, everybody. Oh my god. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris, or Hamasamakun, on all social media platforms. My pronouns are any. I'm not picky. You can use any of them. I really don't care. Glad to be here.
I mean, we being super chill with our pronouns, except for Anita, who I don't know.
It's been very very nondescript.
No, you said them, but you seem very stringent about them. Like,
That's because I know who I am.
Damn.
You know what? A strong sense of identity is important.
You just triggered a existential crisis. I'm smiling right now, but on the inside, all I can think about is my inevitable demise. So, let's learn a little bit about
My roll it.
What the fuck? So, oh my God.
Tell us a little bit about
It's a well-oiled machine. So early in the morning for this. Oh my god.
And I didn't even.
I did not prepare anything. I didn't expect that during this brief pseudo interview I would have to talk about myself. I thought we were just going to talk about the Hamburger Helper mixtape, but which, by the way, in case anybody here hasn't listened to that, I have.
You gotta listen to it.
Yeah, I've been recently turned on to the mixtape, and honestly, it's fire.
Watch the Stove, baby, the hottest album of 2018. Well, actually, it was
Stir it up.
2016.
Yeah.
It's 26. It was that recent?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah.
1 second. My audio levels are a little.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can put my microphone just a little bit further away.
Fuck audio. Y'all go get us how you get us.
There. I think that's good, and I think that now that I'm closer to my microphone, let me also up my gain.
Just get real up next to it. Just put
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's an ASMR.
Oh my
You like
god.
this? You like this chat? It's too early for this shit.
Do you like this sound, chat? Chat, are you entertained?
It has
Anyway,
been a while. No, go ahead.
You
Talk
trying
about
to get
yourself.
some
Oh,
fuck?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go. No.
I make TikToks. They range from D&D memes to expressing my deep frustration with the TTRPG community occasionally. Though I haven't done that in a hot minute just because I've been too busy shouting expletives on the internet in an attempt to be funny. It's mostly bad D&D ideas, which I find very entertaining, and TikTok did until they decided to start tanking my views because that's just the thing TikTok does. But I can't ever think. I stream on Twitch occasionally. That's the fun thing I do. That's less to do with D&D and more to do with me slowly going insane over the course of 4 hours. And it's a cycle that I repeat constantly, pretty much every day. Somebody in the chat has seen the Raven vid. Yeah, that's. Occasionally, I'll just drop the most fire video in the world, and then I'll disappear off the face of the planet.
Wait, are you? Wait.
Yeah, I'm the.
Hold on, you're the Raven video with the two ravens that.
Yeah.
Fuck you. What's it like to live my dream?
I've had 2 of my friends send me that video, and they're like, "Is this you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it says it's me on the account." But so many people have been that That is the single video that's been carrying my account for like the last week. None of my other content is doing even remotely as well, and it's kind of hilarious. And, like, my friends are so hot. I need that to be said. But
I saw that it was depressed for 4 hours.
I'm so sorry. I live a very blessed life. I get to be copied on by two ravens at once. Um, that's really where I peaked, I think. Other than meme content, I also do my best to use my platform to advocate for Asian representation in the TTRPG scene because I find it very Eurocentric. At least when it comes to settings and a lot of people's characters, and occasionally you have that guy at the table who's like, "My character is a samurai warlord. He comes from feudal Japan. His name is Jeremy, Jeremy-san, Jeremy Senpai. I've seen Sword Art Online at least 4 times." But other than that, oh, I also do a thing called Hot Asian D&D where I try to fix those exact problems. That is where I run my friends through a campaign set in a Asian-inspired D&D fantasy setting, made by me and those same players, where we all got to sort of throw our culture and experiences into it, and I'm very proud of that project. It went on a brief hiatus, but it's coming back. It was because I was moving, but I definitely don't have like 20 plus episodes to edit because I've been very, very lax on that.
Editing is a nightmare. But I always ask folks to have a bit of community on different platforms. Which platform do you think has the rowdiest individuals? Like the most
YouTube. No lie, no cap, YouTube. Rowdy? YouTube is like, what do you mean by rowdy? Like unhinged or just mean?
I mean, where do you feel you have to do your most moderation?
That implies that I do moderation anywhere other than Twitch, but I would have to say it's probably YouTube for me. Ever since that account of mine sort of started picking up, like it has like the most mean comments for no reason. I'll post a video where it's like, it'd be an awful D&D idea, right? It's just a villain and like it's just a duck in a trench coat. And like every time you come back and meet them again, it's just another duck stacked on top of them. I will be using that as a video because I haven't actually made that video yet. But they'll just be like, "This is the worst idea ever. I hope you die." I'm like, what did I do? Like, damn, man, chill. Jeremy-san, please. Onegai shimasu. Gomena, sorry. God damn.
Hey,
I think the most hate I've ever gotten on a video
by a duck twice.
No, but like I think the most hate I ever get on videos is usually the ones where I'm like, "Hey, it'd be so cool as if D&D would stop like being racist. Like, hey, I just want to play Asian D&D, and like I have all these people who could offer their insight and their folklore and all that, and it'd be like very genuine and coming from a place of love and not like money." And then everybody's just like, "What if you just make your own game? Fuck you. Like, I hope you like." I'm like, damn, I mean, I am. How about you support it? Like, God, let me live, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Asian culture is one that I feel like designers just can't help themselves in terms of doing dumb shit.
Like, Jeremy-san, I think it was like the homeliness scale from Oriental Adventures, where it's like, "This is how like mysteriously Asian you are." I'm like, what kind of sliding scale? Like, do I have a 10 in Asian? Like, what is my stat? What are my benefits? What do I roll for that?
I feel like it's that book in particular, the Oriental Adventures book, that grognards fight for the hardest, and I don't understand why. I don't get that. Like, just let it go.
Like,
just let it die. I beg of you.
Any other 3.5 book, please.
Well,
Please.
not any 3.5. 3.5.
Pick one that isn't that one.
Okay. Anyone that isn't that one or the Book of Erotic Fantasy.
I'm sorry, the book of what now?
Oh God, no! We can't keep exposing you to shit today.
The book of erotic fantasy. Hold on, I need to just make some purchases. Is it on Amazon?
No.
His sword was so large, it was.
You're not wrong.
Wielded it with the. Oh my god.
There's sex spells.
What?
None of them good.
Okay, consent better be one of those like requirements, like a verbal component and somatic and.
Yeah.
Christ Almighty. Sex spells. Okay. All right. I'm learning a lot about D&D today. This is why I don't play it as much anymore.
This 3.5 was a wild time.
Truly. This is why I undermine everything D&D builds by making the dumbest characters I can think of.
I mean, you know, when you look up older books, usually you can't find them. You can still find this one. It's still here.
It's still out there.
Yeah.
I recently, like a long time ago, I don't know why I said recent, but like I visited a game shop and they had like an Oriental Adventures book, like just sitting on the shelf collecting dust. I'm like, should I? Then I didn't because I don't want to spend money on that.
Oh, I forgot there were actual pictures in this book. Okay.
What? Gonna send the link or like
Yeah, I got you, fam.
a book that comes up a lot in my life for whatever reason, not because I own it, but because everybody seems to want to talk about it, is the like Monster Girl Encyclopedia, and I'm like, man, that sure is a thing. Oh my god, I'm about to book of erotic fantasy. Oh, it's loading, all right.
There's a incredible.
There's a whole section in this book devoted to how each species views and utilizes sex in their culture, which could be interesting, but it's not handled. Yeah. It's not handled with the like, hey, let's world build in an interesting way. It's like, hee tits.
Wouldn't it be so hot if This is.
I'm also looking at this for like I'm looking at the pictures for like representation, and I have found a whole.
Oh, you're not finna find. You're not finna find
one black person in this book.
There can't be no melanin in this.
There is melanin in this. There's one bit of melanin I found on page. I gotta scroll back.
Why is there a dinosaur?
Listen, man, when it gets people off, gets them off. That's all I can say.
Okay, it's been like nothing but titties for like 10 pages, and then there's just a picture of a skeleton. Or like a zombie or something, and they're just like, I'm like, what is happening? Like, hello?
Oh, I found the picture of the black dude.
64.
Yeah, I saw.
Hell yeah, we got there. It only took 64 pages.
There's also an
orc on
page.
So if you're just getting in and you're wondering what are we examining, we've introduced our guest to the 3.5 book of erotic fantasy.
Listen, this is the learning episode.
Why make this book?
You've been warned.
Like this is so on brand for D&D.
Yeah.
At least the D&D circles I'm in,
also,
but like at the same time, it's.
If you are looking, that is definitely not safe for it.
Yes.
Oh, I thought we were gonna just share the whole book. You know, really do a deep dive into. Did you actually share the fucking link?
Yeah, it's a chat.
I don't give a fuck. Fight me. Fight me, Twitch.
It's your show. Like.
Can I before we move on from this, because we
should definitely move on from this.
I would like to just say a couple of spell names if I could indulge us all with that real quick.
Can you do it in your most like a rock audio roleplay voice? Just...
yeah, I got you.
All right. Oh, wonderful. Oh my god, I did not expect it to be that good. All right, hold on. I'm interested now. I'm invested.
For druid spells, we have the level 0 spell, analyze fertility.
Okay, nope, I'm done. I don't like it here anymore.
There's
Christ.
also the cantrip detect pregnancy. If you ever wondered what level spell it would be to know if you're pregnant, it's a cantrip.
I'm just gonna show up at my next D&D game and be like, so I'm gonna be using some old spells. Like if I could just homebrew a few of these. So I actually cast detect pregnancy on the main villain just to.
There's a level 1 cleric spell called Block the Seed.
Create or destroy semen.
Prevents conception for 1 hour equal to your level.
I don't like D&D anymore. I'm fine. I'm gonna switch to like anything else. There are a lot of really great other games you could be playing. Masks is a fun one.
Oh god.
Let's.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not. You're good. You're fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Why is my
Oh.
so low?
Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at spells now.
Yeah, you're probably best.
Oh Lord.
We probably
I just.
found... Where is this? 1 second.
Yeah. What, you okay over there,
My
man?
microphone levels are, for some reason, I'm not very hot at all. But I've got my thing cranked
I don't
right
think
now.
that's true. All right, let's get to some of the questions that we ask all our guests here because we took a wild turn very early on. One, how did you find yourself in this nerdy sphere? Did you start off just doing a couple of TikToks and you just kind of got drawn into the world, or like were you introduced to actual plays another way? I'm just kind of curious. What got you all started?
I'll go down the timeline, I guess. So back in high school, I started watching Critical Role because I had like a decent interest in D&D in general, and I'm like, this is the best. I grabbed my first group of like 11 people because I didn't realize that was a bad idea, and ran my first game that way, and it just kept going on and on. I ran campaigns and one-shots with my friends. We just were constantly playing like week by week, sometimes for like 48 hours. And we would just sleep in the D&D room. It was a lot of fun until we realized we had responsibilities as we grew up, and that was a mistake. So that just sort of continued. I just really loved D&D for however long until I started dating one of my ex now, but they started doing TikTok out of spite towards somebody else. Who was like a mutual friend at the time, but they were getting like kind of annoying about it. We're like, oh my god, this video has like 2,000 views. Like I'm basically famous. Like, do you have any idea who you're talking? I'm like one of those, and I'm like, oh god. So my partner at the time was like, all right, I'm just gonna start TikTok just to spite you, and then they passed them in like followers, and then they got mad about it, and they were like, oh, this is actually really fun. So they got into the D&D TikTokosphere, and I'm like, I like D&D. I like saying funny ha-has. I should start it too. And my first video was not related to D&D at all. It was like a video of me like going on a hike or something, which is not something I do often. And then actually, I tell a lie. The first video was about Boblin the Goblin. It was like how everybody has very serious characters, and I show up with like, my guy is the dumpster wizard. He grew up raised by dumpsters, so now he has the powers similar to one. But yeah, I just kept making content until eventually I started meeting more people in the space, and they brought me into like D&D TikTok servers and like talking, and now some of my closest friends are from that side of things, and I just never looked back and continued to make content, and now it's spiraled to the point where I don't know how I got to this point either.
So I guess my next question is, have you had a moment where anybody's recognized you?
Yes, but not for D&D, which I find unbelievably funny. I'm originally from Hawaii, and they have this thing called KawaiiCon, which is based around like anime and stuff. And I went with my friend just because like something fun to do, get out of the house, stop living in my cave. And this guy approaches me while I'm eating lunch in I think I was wearing a Hal cosplay and I was just scarfing down this like chicken sandwich, and they like tapped me on the shoulder and they're like, I'm sorry, but like, are you Hamasamakun? And I'm like, oh, what? And they're like, oh, you make the Yu-Gi-Oh content. I'm like, I guess. There was like a brief time where I took a break from D&D and I started making Yu-Gi-Oh videos because like I really enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh as an anime, and it's very easy to make fun of. I haven't done that in a while, but they're like, "Oh, I love your videos. Can I get a picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I look awful, but all right." So now there's just a picture of me dressed in a Hal cosplay, chicken crumbs on my face, as just like holding up a thumbs up, like, "Yeah." But it was honestly so sweet, and I think about that a lot because that was the first time I've ever been recognized. But it's also like one of the first times I went outside for like months, so maybe I'd get recognized more if I went places.
I've got to ask, why Yu-Gi-Oh, man?
Why Yu-Gi-Oh content, or why Yu-Gi-Oh just in general?
Why Yu-Gi-Oh content, and also why Yu-Gi-Oh?
Because Yu-Gi-Oh is the best sports anime I've ever watched. And as for why Yu-Gi-Oh content, I think it all started because of a joke that my friends made in a Discord server where it was like, this card is really weird. It's called Jam Breeding Machine. And I'm like, I don't know why it's called that. Don't ask me, please. So that started like one video that went like decently viral where it's like, Pharaoh, I've been meaning to ask you about this, but why is some of your cards just like a little suggestive? It's like, I don't know, like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, this one is just called Jam Breeding Machine. It's like, I got that card from Merrick. It's like, okay, well, this one's just like hentai you duct tape to an Uno card. This most powerful card in all of Duel Monsters. I'm like, this is so dumb, but people, for whatever reason, resonated with it. And I made like a bunch of other Yu-Gi-Oh skits until I'm just like, I'm good. I think I'm done here. I still have like 14 of them in my drafts, but I'm like, it's just not funny to me as much anymore.
I always think that that's interesting from the perspective of a content creator and their fans, because you've got content that they probably like, but you're like, and I just love that like connection and disconnect. It's like I could give y'all more of that, but I'm going to find something that I enjoy making. Like, that's pretty cool. I do have to say, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a show almost got my ass kicked because Yugi does not follow the rules. So it's terrible. It's a terrible idea to try to learn the rules from the anime like I try.
What do you mean I can't fuse my monster with yours? It's amazing how like the solid disconnect between the show and the way the game is actually played, and I'm like, oh lord.
And now they've added so much where it's just like you can kill somebody in turn one. It's just like, I'm okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't think I need to do this anymore. I'm all right.
I saw it come up on my TikTok where somebody was just showing themselves consistently killing somebody on the first turn, and I'm like,
I don't know.
You are everything that's wrong with this game.
I don't know which anime has like the worst like, or like weirdest backstory, either Beyblade or Yu-Gi-Oh, because isn't Beyblade like part the Red Sea?
Yeah,
yes,
part the Red Sea with a Beyblade.
Moses did have a Beyblade.
So that just like actively confirms that like Christianity is the true religion in Beyblade, whereas like in Yu-Gi-Oh they confirm that vampires exist.
It's true.
Like Egypt gods are real and vampires.
I wonder if Jesus had a Beyblade.
Oh my god.
Did he become
I mean, I could see it. That's how he got his flock, right? He beat them all in a Beyblade competition, and now they had to like convert to Christianity.
They just rip them off.
Is this sacrilege? Is this like blasphemy? Am I going to hell for this?
Jesus ripped that Beyblade for our sins.
Jesus became the Beyblade for our sins. He spun his way through hell.
Now I just need a crossover between Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, like, if Moses is canon in that universe, then,
Yeah.
like, so is all the shit that happened with, like, the Egypt, like, just Egypt. So if it crosses over with Yu-Gi-Oh! Then you could have, like, the Beyblade Moses is wielded against the Egyptian gods, and I'm like, this would be a pretty epic crossover.
Oh my God, was Yami the pharaoh that Moses
We're
went up
gonna
against?
we're gonna Prince
Oh,
of Egypt
Lord.
this. We're adding it.
Prince of Egypt. I want Prince of Egypt with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Beyblade.
I just want to see Yami see a Beyblade and go, not again.
Please, God, no.
I love
It's like,
this.
I summon the Egyptian gods to the field. Oh yeah, well I summon Moses in attack mode.
Yeah, not again.
Please God no.
Oh God.
This is kinda, I feel like this would get us like in trouble in certain circles.
Oh
Probably.
yeah, but those
Not
are
ones I
circles
wanna
I
be
don't
part
want to
of.
be involved with.
That is very fair.
All right, so the next question, now that we kind of see where you got your start. Okay, I'm just gonna jump straight to it because we have another segment that we often ask people, and we're just gonna get to it. See, there's a silent war in the TTRPG space where some people see these dice as like just storytelling tools. You pick them up, you roll them, they tell you a number, and you use the results. Then there's another group of folks who see dice as the forbidden candy that you put in your mouth and crunch. These people call themselves Crunch Crew. Now, I am a part of a group that's called Stop the Crunch. And then there are a number of other smaller groups, the main one being, let's see, Crunch Responsibly, which is very dumb because he can't do something irresponsibly, but that's neither here nor there. I say all that to ask, what side of this battle are you on? Do you crunch your die, or
You missed the whole sight gag.
I had a whole sight gag while you were talking. I'm so sorry. But
what has happened is, as I've started asking this question, more people just crunch while I ask, so I make sure not to look at the screen anymore because I've had my heart broken.
I just pop one of these dice in there.
God damn it!
But I would have to say no. I'm not in the club of like I want to put my dice in my mouth. I'm like,
oh, thank
nah.
God. Thank God.
I've seen content of it, and I'm like, that's nice for you. I don't want to do it, but that's nice for you. This is not the kind of thirst content I'm here for. I'm sorry.
So
For whatever reason, it's like always erotic. I don't.
Yeah, what is it, like lipstick and then like taking like very sexual pictures of yourself crotch and die? It's disgusting.
You literally just called out Mulan Rogue.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but I'm so sorry. Look, you know what? If
I am aware of them.
Bills, do what you gotta do. I don't judge. Get that bank.
We can't promote this shit. We can't. Do you know where dice have been? No, you don't.
Well, that's why you clean them beforehand. You got to be
Nobody
safe
cleans their
when you're
dice.
crunching dice.
I'm sick of this lie that people are perpetuating. Listen, you can get a dice bag, a dice carrier, a dice set. You can get armor made out of dice. But you'd want to know the one thing I've never seen sold at Gen Con ever? Dice cleaners. Not once.
Clearly, you just haven't been looking hard enough.
I'm gonna look right now. I'm going on
Dice
Google
cleaner.
to look up dice cleaner.
It has to exist. I'm almost sure of it. And by almost, I mean vaguely.
Gray there has a link to share for you.
Oh, there you go. There's the dice cleaner.
I don't believe. Go ahead, share your link.
Confirmed.
Share your link. Stream element. BK2. No! Why would you show me this? This is why I hate our audience. You're supposed to love the community that you build over time. I just want to fight ours. Okay.
It's it wouldn't be an online community if you didn't actively want to fist fight everybody in that community.
See, you understand. You understand. So I'm gonna give the punishment question that I usually give a bit
Punishment
later.
question?
Yeah, because you crotched and now you must be punished.
What? I did it for the bit. I live free.
Sacrifices must be made. So I'm kind of curious, what piece of content do you feel like really encapsulate everything that you're trying to do right now?
The Raven video.
God damn!
No, no.
Just throw my
No. Oh my god. No, it does kind of encapsulate a lot of what I'm about. But no, I would, it's hard to say because I've had a lot of different eras of my content. So my first I think the first viral video I had was me doing like the D&D sitcom opening where it was like just a bunch of jokes, and then I made that video and then I just never really thought about it again. I didn't capitalize on it. And then it went into like creating dumb subclasses where it's like, oh, Oath of the Mailman or like Pact of the College Dropout or something like that. And those were fun. I enjoyed making them. But then I think after a while I stopped because that is right around the time when D&D Against Humanity took off, which was playing D&D with Cards Against Humanity instead of dice, and that's always been like pretty decent for views on my page.
I am very curious as to how that goes down. Like that, you can't barge over there. That's awesome.
I have done 3 actual episodes of that on my YouTube, but for the most part, I just make like little skits where it's like, oh, you've been. I have Cards Against Humanity right here. It's like you find yourself in a dark forest, walking through the woods. There's a single snap of a twig behind you. It's like, oh, I go to look what it is. Pull a card. Well, behind you, you see a good, strong gorilla. It's like, and that's just always been very humorous for me. 'Cause I just like the random chance of it. But lately, and then there was like then there was the Yu-Gi-Oh era of my content. Then there was like the female gaze era of my content where I actively ask people, I'm like, oh, like, what do you find attractive? And I would just like kind of do my best approximation of it and be like, this is just regular clothes. I don't understand any of this. Which oddly enough got a lingerie company to send me items. And I'm like, I don't know how we got to this point.
What the fuck?
They're lovely people. They make like lingerie for like non-binary and like not gender non-conforming people. I think it's like Cantique. Shout out to them. They were very nice when they were DMing me. Have not talked to them since because I haven't made any content of that in a while. What else we got? And then now I just sit very strongly in the, it'd be an awful D&D idea. A bag of holding, except it's linked to the Amazon warehouse or something like that.
Oh, that actually sounds awesome.
I always stand by calling these ideas awful because there's always like 2 or 3 people in the comments just like, you spelt amazing wrong, and I'm like, thanks, but like that's not. I don't think anybody should be using these like ideas. Oh, that was another thing I did. I did terrible campaign ideas with Chris, where I just gave like the most unhinged one-shot ideas, where it's like, oh, a murder mystery, or like one of those like teen slasher, like Friday the 13th kind of movies, except like everybody's the killer. So you just have like a bunch of teens going out into the woods, and they're all trying to stab each other, but like they don't know that.
So it's the Purge.
It kind of is, yeah. But I would honestly say that just any of like the videos I've made recently are probably a good approximation of what I want to do in the space, which is like make people laugh. I enjoy being comedic relief. Like Though recently I have been sort of like gearing towards more serious like role play and characters and like trying to get invited to more actual plays and stuff.
Okay.
But, at my heart of hearts, I just really enjoy like making funny haha.
Well, it sounds like you've got quite extensive library of ha-has, and that you keep coming up with more of them. Which, like, I personally, I feel like one of the hardest things about content creation is one, being consistent, and two, the constant stream of creativity. So, where are you? Like, if you don't mind my asking, where do you feel like you're getting a lot of your ideas from?
Um, a lot of it comes from just scrolling through TikTok. There'll be like a video that's completely unrelated, but it will sort of spark something. I Nothing comes off the top of my head, but there have been a few times where I'm just scrolling through and it's like, oh, like somebody's like making a I don't know, like toilet wine or something, and I'm like, oh, that would be great for an idea. That's gonna be my next character. And sometimes when I'm filming, like I don't script any of my videos. It's usually very off the cuff. But I'll have to take multiple takes, and as I'm going through it, eventually I'll be like, oh, this, I could also do this as the idea instead, and so I'll film that version, or like, it's very nebulous, my content creation style, but I've been decently consistent with it. But boy, howdy, am I just like constantly in search of ideas. I'm like, how am I? Like, I have to post 2 videos a day, and I have to film 3 a day, and I just to make sure that I'm like saving up like content in case I'm ever like indisposed, like out and about, like for cons or something. This is the best. I love this.
So can you describe to us the point where it went from I'm just gonna do this thing for the lulz to like, oh, like let me have a backlog just in case something happens?
Um, Honestly, ever since I started, I want to say
Oh.
I'm I'm terribly anxious about things all the time, and I've been sort of going under the same like, oh, I'll post 2 to 3 videos a day because that's how you grow. And I'm like, I've always really dreamed of being a content creator for my career, and I've only recently kind of been getting into that. I just recently went full time right around my move, which probably wasn't the best idea because that cost a lot of money. But I have always just been like, oh, if I have an idea, I'll film it. But now I've gotten into the schedule of like, okay, from like 9 to 12 before my peak posting hours, I will film content so that I have that set up in case like there's a couple days out of the week where I'm like, I just don't want to, or I don't have any ideas. So yeah, I right now I have like a bunch written down in a doc, and I was just like, I haven't filmed any of them because I'm like, I don't want to. There's like, we have a bunch of guests in the house right now, and one of them is on the other side of this wall and actively told me like, I can hear you doing all that like in the morning. I hear you do like 5 takes of the same line. I'm like, please do not perceive me. Like, I understand that I'm on the internet, but please don't actively like confirm that I exist.
I was
But, yeah,
actually
I've
about
always...
to ask about that because it's just like when you're filming that stuff, like I don't know about you, but I feel like I look at like an absolute goober. So like my content creation took a major hit when I had my partner move in with me because it's just like I can't let you see me being a weirdo. Like, how do you deal with that?
No, hide from the light.
Listen, anything that happens on that side of the apartment, I don't perceive.
It very much depends for me. There are like, so my roommates, they know fully that I do content, and like that I moved in with them because one of them does content for other people, like does editing for like YouTube channels, and the other one was also a content creator before they sort of like stopped. So like I don't care about them hearing, like I actively am shouting during my streams, and they're like, I think I've only recently gotten back into it because I was on my trip and then I moved, and that's just been its own thing. But like they invited people over, and I'm like, please don't, please just like leave the house for like 2 hours while I do this. I beg of you. Like I just can't go through this. So it very much depends. There are some people where I'm like, I refuse to let you perceive me as a content creator, or like watch me yell dildo in my room 4 different times because I didn't get that take right the first time. But the people I've surrounded myself, at least on my day to day, I'm like, I don't care. You've seen worse.
I'm the opposite. I don't mind a stranger seeing me be a goober, but if it's somebody that I know and love, I'll have to put you down. You
It's
can't.
nothing personal, kid. I just gotta just
I
look at
can't.
the rabbits, George.
I can't let you see me like this. Shh. Just close their eyes.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Okay, so here is the punishment question. You get to play any game you want with any 5 people that are alive right now. You don't count towards the 5. What game are you playing? Who's GMing? And who are the 5 people at the table?
Oh Christ.
That's why.
I would want to play Mass because I love the Mass RPG. D&D feels like a very like basic answer because like a lot of the people in the space that I'd want to play with are like doing D&D and stuff. But like I really want to play Masks because you know I grew up on like old tokusatsu shows like Kikaida and like I've been watching Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and all that, and I just love that like sphere of superhero content. And I would want to play with Brennan Lee Mulligan and Erika Ishii and Matthew Mercer, and honestly, that like them 3, and then I would want to bring in like a very close friend of mine, D&D Imposter on TikTok.com. Just saying, everybody should go follow them. They are so lovely, and they're just a very positive presence in the space, and probably Alec the Bard, who's also a very close friend. The 2 of them have been like my like ride or dies for like a hot minute. I'd probably honestly I would want Alec to run that game because Alec has already run that game for me playing Mass, and that's Hero Sebastian on YouTube in case anybody is curious about that. Some of my best character work, to be honest. But there's your answer. Mass with Brennan Lee Mulligan, Matthew Mercer, Erika Ishii, D&D Imposter, and Alec the Bard.
All right, that's not a bad table. I got to be in one game with Alec as GM, and the dude's incredible. So that would be a fun one. We play D&D though. The next question I have for you is: you are the God Emperor of the TTRPG space. You snap your fingers.
God Emperor.
Yeah, you snap your finger and like you can make any company as big as WotC. You can snap your fingers and get rid of any company you want. Like what you can do anything in the space.
Goodbye, TSR.
You got 3 wishes. What do you or 3
wishes.
commands? What do you make happy?
I become the biggest D&D content creator ever.
I consume all their soul.
I become the only D&D. No, I mean, first and foremost, I would probably get rid of like the racism. Just in general, just get rid of every like problematic part of this community and the game itself, because I think it's really important that like we foster a very safe space that's welcoming, because a lot of people use the game to sort of explore identities. I myself realized I was like non-binary playing the game because I'm like all of my characters do not gender. I'm trying my best not to read into this, and then later on I'm like, yeah, gender's not real. So that would be my one. Make D&D a lot safer for the more marginalized groups. Honestly, that's my big one.
Whenever somebody has that particular wish, I'm always amused because like the day after they make that wish, it would be very interesting to see who's not in the space anymore.
Honestly, tea to be spilled. No, there was an era of D&D TikTok, right, where we had a controversy every week, and I'm like, bruh, just chill, I beg of you. It was like the bad boy of D&D TikTok was spouting off like the worst takes ever. And it was like, I see that you guys are trying to make me the villain, so I guess I'll be the bad boy. I'm like, my God, just stop, please stop.
Between that,
I don't remember what their account was, but like they literally disappeared off the face of the planet because the entire community banded together to bully them. And
I mean, look, there's so many people that fit into that. Like
one of them came
bad
back
guy
across
of the week.
my For You page, and I was pretty sure I blocked her.
Really? Oh, I'm curious about the tea, but if you don't want to say it on stream, just DM it to me because now I'm
I
curious.
don't really care. It was Freckle Topo. Came back across my For You page, and I was like, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, no,
you.
that's like a universally agreed upon. Like never shared a space with them. Never want to share a space with them. I think they are the biggest and the worst so far. Yeah. I feel like that. I don't think it's controversial to say that Freckled Hobo is a bad person.
Between the Goblin cosplay or the
Opal incident.
The Opal incident.
That was a big one that happened. I think that was the next one, and then it was like metagaming in D&D became a big thing, where it's like just let me metagame. Let's winning the game. And I'm like, bro, we have like a story. There's like a narrative.
The stolen
art. You don't win D&D, people.
There's no winning.
The storytelling.
You win by having a good time and maybe kissing your friends. Those are the two big ones.
The one that I'm loving right now, though, is everybody's turning to page 69 of their player's handbook, and it's you have to be gay. It's in the rule book. You have to be gay.
I've only seen the Connie Chang version of that video where it was like, you know, guys, this is like really hurtful to our straight ally, and then just like breaks into fucking like just uncontrollable laughter. It's like, if you turn to page 69, you have to be trans. You have to be trans right now. I'm like, oh my god, this is the best video. I love this so much.
I could never work at WotC because it would be my life's mission to, at some point, if they ever reissue the player's handbook, sneak in on page 69.
You have to be gay.
Like Xanathar said, you have to be gay. Oh god, I don't think I would be ever like with the platform I've created of like D&D is a joke. I don't think they're ever gonna hire me. But I am trying my best. I sent out an email from that one party I went to, and I'm like, please sponsorships, please. I'm doing my best. I just come on, give me a chance. But I do have a meeting with Start Playing, which I think is
that's awesome.
I really hope I don't sleep in for that one. I thought that I slept in. I was telling Anita, I think you were here for that actually. You were like eating your Arby's. But I thought I slept in past like the time we were streaming. Then I realized Central is behind. I'm like, oh, thank God. I woke up with like an hour to spare. Woke up on like 10:12. I'm like, oh no, I've ruined this.
So that actually kind of leads into another string of questions that I have, which is like, content creation is one thing, but then there's the whole business aspect of it, which I feel like not a lot of people are taught. So, you know, when it comes to things,
there was still two more. We only did one.
Oh yeah, commands as God Emperor of D&D.
That's right. You're right.
I'll be honest. I don't wish for much in this space. I would say that like I would want other TTRPGs to be just as popular as D&D. Like a vast majority of the content I make is D&D because there's the recognition of like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons. If I was like, you know, it'd be an awful Mask character, or like, you know, it'd be an awful Call of Cthulhu character, and they were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know, just give me a chance, man. Like, but so that's my second one. Third one is just I don't know. Just be.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking of the worst Call of Cthulhu character would be someone that's really into tentacles.
That's every D&D character I've ever made. That's my current Call of Cthulhu. No, I am gonna be in a Call of Cthulhu thing soon, but I respect my friend too much to make a meme character for this, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to play a serious character, and they're like, oh, I'll bring you into this. I'm like, okay, now I create a character that's just named like Bobbert Robertson. I know. But I did put a lot of work into that character. My third wish, just for the meme of it, is I want to be the biggest D&D content creator ever in the whole world, forever and always.
Hell yeah.
Bring up all my other friends with me, because I find that like a lot of not as well known like actual plays and content creators, like they make really great stuff and they're just not noticed as much, and it's very tragic. And I want people to recognize some of the creators in the space that maybe aren't as big, but like make equally quality content. And it's mostly just like, I just stop following Freckled Hobo. If you follow Freckled Hobo, I don't respect you. I don't know what to tell you. That's
I've
that's
never
it.
seen the D&D TikTok have such an Avengers moment where everybody was just like, we're not standing by
Uniting.
shit.
I've never been prouder. And then we had another controversy like a week later, and I'm like, all my pride in you is gone.
Yeah, there's like that vacation camp thing that.
Oh yeah, that one had a lot of it has to do with Freckled Hobo.
Yeah.
My friend caught flack for being in that, and they didn't realize that Freckled Hobo was included. And like I saw all of these people, like all of these really great content creators who are like wouldn't hurt a fly, like are super uncontroversial, catch flack for it, and I'm like, I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. Like one of them literally like unfollowed all of their people because they're like, I don't know where we stand and I don't want to make you uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna unfollow everybody if you like, just so I personally don't see that you unfollow me, because like that's gonna do wonders on my like mental health. And I'm like, bro, you're such a nice person. Like I don't I just felt really bad for them. This is also the one time I'm like, I'm excited that nobody invites me to shit. Like I'm so happy that I'm not fucking dealing with this.
So I think we got our 3 questions, and that leads me right back to the question I was getting ready to ask, which is the content creator side is one side of things, but then there's the whole business aspect that you have to take into account, like reaching out for sponsorships and things of that nature. My question is, like, how did you learn that aspect of the game?
I didn't.
Neither did me, my friend.
Yeah, literally. So, fun fact, Gen Con was the first time I ever networked. And it went pretty well. I met Anita, I met Paladin, which honestly, I had like a starstruck moment. Like, I don't know if, I think somebody introduced me like randomly. And they're like, oh, like, have you met like this person? I'm like, I have not. As they're like, oh, I'm HTTP Paladin on Twitter, and like I worked on the Sinahuna books. I'm like, oh my god, please, like, I just give me a chance. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm like kind of drunk right now, but like, I love you so much. Please be my friend. And like, they were so great. They were so nice, and they really reaffirmed a lot of like insecurities that I have about being in the space, where like you do belong here. You have carved out your like space, and people recognize that, and like, you know, doing the work of like representation for marginalized groups. Me particularly is like Asians, Japanese people, Koreans, stuff like that. But they're like, you know, if not you, then nobody. And I'm like, that is a good point. Even if I may not be doing a lot of it, I'm still doing some of it. And so that's why I am continuing on with my Hot Asian D&D whenever that gets back to it. But yeah. I've just been very, it was just a very reaffirming moment. And I got to meet one of my heroes in this space. But I've not learned networking. All of the emails I sent out, like, I tried to be so official and businessy, but it was mostly just like, there's like that small undertone of like, I'm so sorry, please, just like, I just, please just hear me out, like, just put me on your show, I swear I'll be so good.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Paladin's a real one. You found a good one with him.
Honestly, yeah. With that, but yeah, networking is hard, as I've realized. It was a lot of following my friend around who had either the connections or the charisma to get into parties we weren't invited to, and I would just follow along, saying absolutely nothing until they were like, "All right, now go do things," and I'm like, "I followed you in. Hello, help," but. Yeah, it was like a handful of parties here and there. I got like people's business cards. I met a lot of really nice people. And honestly, at this point, networking for me, like, yeah, there's that sponsorship aspect of business of like, oh, I want to be a full-time content creator, so I need the money to do that. Yeah. But for me, a lot of it is just like, you are so cool. Please be my friend. That's a vast majority of it. I think at the Hunters Entertainment Party, which is where I met Anita, I was playing just like pool with a bunch of people. One of them apparently did the art for the like Taldore book, and I didn't know it until much later, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry I told you to eat a dick while I was like playing pool. I'm so sorry. I actively just like tried to ruin your pool experience. Like for fun,
That was
obviously. Like, we're
Janelle,
playing
right?
street pool where it's like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Janelle. Janelle's so nice. I love them so much. I need to
Uh,
talk to them more. I'm gonna send them some memes, see how they react to that. That's how I connect with people.
Me too. Just like I'm gonna slide you a TikTok I thought was funny
Hey
and then
yo,
get a
you see this
reaction.
picture of a biscuit with like some heavy metal over it? That's me saying hi. But
You
I moved out to the States so that I could go to more cons. I actually have one that I'm going to be going to in September, Big Bad Con. I'll be
oh,
going to that with
nice.
my friend.
Oh,
And I
where'd
have
you
so
move
much more.
from?
I moved from Hawaii to Florida, so literally like all the way out to the other side of the continent or the country. The country. I know places.
uh, I gotta say, you triggered a story with talking about having a friend bring you to a party. This Gen Con, Wizards had a party, and I was trying to sneak some friends in, and so like I had been to the party. I left because I had to do something. I came back with a couple of my friends, and the guy outside taking names is just like, "Oh, you come back?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, and they with you?" And I was about to go, "Yeah." And then one of my friends goes, "Yeah, but we're not invited. Is that okay?" And I'm like, "What the fuck
Oh yeah.
are you doing?"
That's why I just shut up. That's why I just don't say a word. I literally, that's exactly what happened. I think I went to that party too, but it was towards the tail end of it. So like my
Yeah.
friend Alec and I, like we walk up, you know, we're like, just like act like you belong. And I'm like, I don't feel like I do. And they're like, just fake it till you make it, bro. And we like walk over, and it's like, oh, you here for the Wizards of the Coast party? And we're like, yes. And they're like, all right, sick. We have so many drinks. Like, just like go on in. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever you say.
That's the party that I screamed in Matt Mercer's face.
I love that for you. Matt Mercer complimented my tattoos, and I've never felt more proud of myself.
The
And
the thing he was like, nobody expects to turn around and see Matt Mercer, right? Like you expect to see him coming from a distance so that you have time to like prepare. I was talking to somebody, I turned around, there's a Matt Mercer, and I just went ah!
Right in his face.
Right in his face.
I love that for you.
Wasn't a great moment, but um, so this is you're going to Big Bad Con. Are you on any panels? Like, where can folks expect to see you?
I am not. I have yet to actually be on a panel.
What?
I have been like as big as my account gets, I have been relatively like isolated for a very long time. Not for lack of, well, actually yes, for lack of trying. I didn't really put myself out there. Like people would invite me to things where it's like, "Hey, you want to guest on this thing?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll play like a character." And then like it would be like months of nothing, and like I don't really talk to a lot of people except for my small group of friends who invite me to things. So networking has only started happening for me at Gen Con, and it's been going like relatively well. I've been trying to put my name out there, like get to know people in the space. But yeah, I've never been on a panel. I don't even know how to set that up. So even if I like never really asked, I was just kind of go to cons and hang out with my friends and stuff. But that's a majority of it. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. Where do you like? What platform do you kind of feel is your home? Like, where's the platform that you feel like most comfortable with?
I'm gonna say Twitch, actually. Like where I feel the most comfortable, I would probably say Twitch. All the other everywhere the views are like, you know, inconsistent, and that always kind of gets to people because that's just the content creator life.
Yep.
TikTok has probably treated me the worst. Instagram has been pretty consistent with views. YouTube has only really picked up recently, but there's always those like comments of like, "This is the worst idea ever. You go back to your cave," and I'm like, okay, sure. But Twitch, My following on Twitch has recently grown just because I've grown on other platforms, and I'll drag them over there because Twitch has been always my biggest like where I like to make content. I like streaming. Doing like D&D stuff is fun and all, but like it gets tiring filming stuff over and over again. But with
Yeah.
Twitch, it's just like I'm sitting here, I get to talk to my community. Everybody is really, really nice. I call them the Ham Fam. They're my
That's awesome.
they are my children, and they are all actively planning my demise, but also supporting me in ways that I didn't expect. But they're all really great, and I love them. And that's probably, if I could choose to like transfer all of my followers somewhere, it would probably be there.
Wow, really? Usually, most people say YouTube, so I'm surprised to hear that.
For me, YouTube is like, I don't make a lot of long form content because I either don't have the time or the motivation to do it. So a lot of it is just reposting my shorts, and like that's gaining a following. That's great and all, but I'm like, I don't really like, I could stream on YouTube if I wanted to, but like I don't really want to. Like Twitch, like the payout is bad, but I'm pretty sure it is at YouTube too. So I'm just gonna do my best with this.
Because then you got that same chud from the comments that's like, hey,
Yeah.
you should go back to your cave showing up in your chat in YouTube. And it's like,
Literally. I've been very fortunate on Twitch, where I don't really have to deal with that, and my mod team is really good about it.
Yeah.
When it does happen, but generally it's just been a very positive space. People will pop in and be like, "Hey, I saw you from Instagram. Like, I just wanted to pop in and say hi." I'm like, "Oh, yay!" Though with YouTube, I'm like with Twitch, you kind of get what you expect. Like with Twitch, I don't really do D&D, even though my content base is very focused around it.
Yeah.
So on Twitch, it's like just me sitting around playing video games, drawing in MS Paint,
MS
saying
Paint.
dildo. Yeah, that's been. So I raised the funds to move, and it was an MS Paint drawing stream where I'm like, I will draw anything you want for like $5. And a lot of it was like the most cursed shit, and I'm like, I'm concerned for all of you, but I'm not gonna say no. But yeah, so on YouTube, like where I've made this platform of like, oh, D&D shorts, bad D&D ideas. I feel like if I were to start streaming there and just like hang out, people would be very like, they wouldn't really be as open to it. Though I might just be like being anxious about it or something, or like making something out of nothing. But I feel like a lot of it would just be like, why aren't you playing D&D? Like, what is your favorite like D&D thing? I'm like, I'm just here to play Apex Legends, man. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe if I get banned on Twitch, I'll move to YouTube because that.
No,
I
you
got
got to move
banned
the
on-
kick. That's where the move is.
Fuck no, absolutely not. I would rather die. A lot of people have asked me about it. I'm like, yeah, the split is nice, but it's also full of like transphobes and like Nazis. Why would I want to go there? I'm being called enough racial slurs in my YouTube comments. I do not need this actively to my face.
It's so true. I went to go watch a streamer on Kick for just a little bit, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
My roommate just walked in and called me a racial slur. It's just walked out. It's fine. They're Japanese too.
No,
I just think it's so
we
funny.
gotta start cancel procedures.
I know. I thought they were walking in here to say something like to tell me like, oh, like, hey, like blah 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 blah, something is happening, like, just wondering like how you're doing. They just like open the door a crack, look me in the eyes, and just mouth a like.
You got good roommates.
They're lovely. I love them so much.
if I do it, I get kicked. No, you're fine.
Oh, sure. When I do it. Oh my god.
My favorite thing is to call our cat a racial slur, and knowing that only the cat can say it, but Anita can't.
You're gonna get canceled.
He is black. It's true.
All right, so I've got one last question before we go to break here, which is, you can take all of the money and popularity from any franchise and give it to a different franchise or project. What are you draining and what are you enhancing?
I would drain Wizards of the Coast. They'll make it back. It's fine. I would drain Wizards of the Coast and either give it to Hot Asian D&D, my favorite TTRPG stream.
Yeah!
No, if I had to give it to something that I'm not actively making, I would probably give it to either like Sina Una or like the Asian-inspired fantasy settings, or give it to Mask. I really like Mask.
Mask is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love the moment of truth. It's such a good mechanic
It's
that I
so
think
good.
more RPGs should implement. Like, it gives a lot of power to the players, and like if there's like active communication between the game runner and the player, then it doesn't like derail the campaign at all. Like, you know, as long as you're respectful with how you use it, it could be really epic.
I have never seen a mechanic empower shy players as much as that one does. Like, it basically
Exactly.
says, this is your moment. Like, go nuts. And, oh, man, it's so good. It is
It's
so
so
good.
great. I love it so much.
So with that said, I think we've been at this for a good hour. I'm ready to go take a quick break because I ran out of hydration.
All right.
So we're gonna go ahead and take ourselves a quick tenor, and we will see you back for the dark roast.
All right. See you soon, everybody. And we're back.
What's up, you fucks?
Hello. Sup, you fucks. All right.
I just
And like you
being
wonder
mean
why
with
the
them.
chat wants to fight you.
I don't understand it. I think it's because I'm black. No, okay. So
Oh my god. It's okay, chat. I still love you.
Don't give them hope. Don't be nice to them. They'll expect it later.
I know. I'm not gonna be here. It's fine. I'm setting these expectations for you.
Expectations that I will fail. So we
You're
are.
my dad.
Jesus. Well, I know I'm not my dad. I'm not beating me right now. So anyway.
Okay.
Welcome to the Dark Roast.
It's dark, all right.
Honestly, the Dark Roast is just what we named the second half. It was supposed to be where we're a little bit more serious, but we never achieved that. So it's just called the Dark Roast.
Right,
And
very serious.
Serious
Business.
business.
This is where we have a few standby questions that I'm just gonna jump into.
That's good.
And the first one is something that we like to call petty prime time. If there is anyone or anything that you want to subtweet, this is where you can feel free to do it. And of course, I would never ask a guest to do something that I myself would not do. So I will model the behavior that we're asking for here by subtweeting. And here is my subtweet. If somebody doesn't like something that you like for a legitimate reason, like, I don't know, being exposed to fantasy racism in an otherwise amazing game, you don't have to defend the game. You can just shut up. You can just let people let their grievances be known and shut up. And also, can we stop having the same 6 conversations on D&D TikTok and D&D Twitter every other month?
Metagaming, racism. Stop pretending to be. Actually, that's still racism. What is it? I've only ever heard those two. It's been metagaming and racism. Those are the ones that keep showing up.
They ask the same 2 questions.
Freckled hobo.
In 4 different ways, and it's fucking annoying.
Christ. It always links back to those two.
I still don't know how Freckled Hobo has as many followers as he
I don't either. I'm genuinely surprised.
I'm like, you motherfuckers. Like this. Like,
Someone
what
actually
are you-
did an audit of our followers and found out a lot of them were bots.
Get dabbed on. Oh yeah, that is true. Oh yeah, somebody told me that like a while ago. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, well,
There's no way, right? Like after all these several controversies, either millions of people are shitty or like they're just circumventing it by buying a lot of them.
I mean, the thing is though, and I'm gonna sound like a hater for saying this. What does she do? Like, does she have a
Racism.
show?
She
part of
did,
racism
but
is-
it blew up because there was a lot of stolen art and some people were being treated pretty unfairly.
Yeah. Has she been invited to other things? Or they? I don't know what the pronouns are. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I also want to be disrespectful. Just not in that vein. I don't think nobody I know has invited them to anything, and I don't know what they do.
Well, I mean, that's what I've been trying to figure out.
Cosplay?
Like,
Cosplay and complain?
I guess I get like and they do not have their pronouns on their Twitter.
I will stick with they until anything is confirmed. But yeah, we keep having the same couple of conversations, and
I'm sick of, like, can we argue about new shit? I'm sick of arguing about I'm white but I want to play a PLC. No, that's the answer. Shut the fuck up. But what if
I don't care.
Shut the fuck up, please.
But like, what if my character's written really? I did my research. I lived 4 years in Japan. Like, what if I bring the samurai armor and do the accent myself? It's like, I hate you. I hate you so
For real,
much.
they keep asking, and we keep giving them the same answer, and they keep
Ask
asking.
again. It's that still racism, but like representation, where it's like, I'm not gonna watch your show if there aren't like any POC in it. It's like, yeah, but that's like racist. You should like watch it. What if it's like really good?
There's
I'm
no
like,
black.
how about,
There's
I
no
don't care.
diversity where I live, so these are the people that I play with, and that's
There
the
are
only
50 other podcasts. I don't need yours. That was gonna be my petty tweet. Is like, not every D&D campaign needs to be a podcast.
Yeah,
Sometimes
you know,
just play it. I don't like. I know that's kind of hypocritical coming from me, who is actively doing one, but like, not every game you play needs to be like a thing.
We're a
You
bunch
can
of
just
friends
enjoy
playing
your-
D&D. We're gonna be the next Critical Role.
All right, so
Jump out a window.
I might get some heat on this, but I agree with your point 100%, and I don't think it's hypocritical because I think if you have put out content and folks have shown that there is a desire for that content, then I feel like the onus is on you to make more content. But I feel like if you're a channel that like has been around for like 5 or 6 years and you have actual play after actual play and you never hit over 3 or 4, like you never get more viewers than there are people involved in the production, I think at that point it's time to take a step back and reevaluate what the fuck is going on. Like,
Honestly. But in that same vein, when it comes to like streaming on Twitch, it's so incredibly difficult to build up a following organically that you actively have to have it somewhere else in order to bring that in.
Yeah.
So like, I don't blame a lot of these like podcasts that are like, oh, we had like 2 viewers and 2 of them were me, and it's like, yeah, but like, you know, have you tried? Well, it also irks me when people complain about it. It's like, I've been doing it for 5 years and nobody's watched my like thing. I'm like, have you tried other avenues, or are you just like hitting go live and like just hoping people show up?
Are you promoting
Yeah.
yourself on a different social media? Just be like, hey, I'm gonna go live. Here's
Yeah, like if you don't even do that, then like don't complain to me, please. I don't care.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people start actual plays with no goal in mind. Like, I want to be in a game, so we're gonna stream.
I want to be Critical Role.
There's no way to make me. You know what? We're in the dark realm, so I'll get a little spicy. There is no way to make me think that you're a fucking dumbass faster than saying we're gonna be the next Critical Role. No, you're not. No, no, you're not. Do you have any idea how much it costs to put together each episode of Critical Role? If you don't, then you probably shouldn't say shit like we gonna be the next Critical Role.
We're gonna be the next Critical Role, they said, filming their content in a dark basement with one singular like top light and like 3 different cameras.
One snowball mic.
Somebody using
Snowball.
a busted snowball.
I say that like that wasn't me when I was like before I started TikTok. I was like, oh, I love Critical Role. We should stream this too. That was the worst I've ever like. I filmed with like my camera and a webcam that was pointed at the players. It was so unbelievably dark that nobody could see anything. And like it would cut out every 2 minutes because my internet was bad. And I'm like, this is it. This is the quality content people are here for. Like,
I think it's imperative that we know that we're not making fun of people who are just starting out with bad gear.
Pursue your dreams, but also be realistic.
You know, when you start streaming, you're going to gradually improve. Like I did not start with this camera. I didn't start with this mic. However, when I did start, and I was using a snowball and MacBook webcam, I did not think that I was going to, you know, be the next Critical Role. There's just gotta be a certain element.
Realistic expectations need to be had.
Thank you. That's all we're saying here. And like nobody's gonna be the next Critical Role. They had front page access to Twitch for like half a year. You know,
that hasn't happened.
Get
that never happened before and hasn't happened since.
So yeah, it's not gonna happen. But chase your dreams still.
Yeah, like do what you want. Just don't do that.
Right. Don't go in thinking like we're gonna be at this for a year, then we're gonna get a Kickstarter that hits 11 million too. No, it's never gonna happen. I'm sorry.
You have to be like, you can do well, but you'll never do that well. If that, like, even I think the biggest amongst like D&D TikTok, like unprepared casters, like,
yeah,
not even close to Critical Role, but like they're doing great, and I'm super proud of them. But like, even then, like, you be realistic, please. I beg of you.
Yeah, seriously. Man, I do like unprepared casters. I gotta shoot my shot at them one day. But the thing is, it's just like, honestly, do the thing. My advice, my content creator advice is make shit that you like making, because if you're just making shit that you think is gonna get you rich, it won't. It won't.
You have to go into it with like a passion for it, as opposed to like, this is going to be my life.
Yeah.
I say also becoming a full-time content creator so I could make this my life. But like I built it up first.
Like, and that's the difference. We're not saying like don't take the jump, but at least build a foundation before you take a jump. Like,
you need something there to like facilitate it.
Like, because motherfuckers don't want to take anybody serious, so you gotta have something to show. Like, yo, I've been in the grind for a fucking minute. You know, that's all we're saying.
The thing you have to also remember is, like, to your point, is that there's a lot of people that have worked really hard to get where they are. You can't expect to turn on your webcam and have that many followers off the bat. You're gonna need something to like hold it down until you can actually get to that point, right?
Yeah. So I had a day job up until I was like, time to quit so I can become a content creator.
Like, I'm on the other end of that spectrum. I'm like, I'm looking to get a day job again. I'm going back to corporate America. Shoot me. But so I guess my next question to you. Well, like, actually, no, we're doing petty prime time, and you've done yours. Anita, do you have a petty prime time for us?
Ooh. Do I have a petty prime time?
Anybody need to be told off?
I'm trying to think. I've
Go
been
for the
kind
throat.
of social media is so terribly inconsistent these days that like I don't really know whether I'm coming or going anymore. Like Twitter or whatever you want to call it is
We're calling it Twitter. It's okay to dead name Twitter.
real ally move of Elon. let us dead name his site. Like the thing is like you don't know what's. I don't know. I don't really have a petty primetime right now, y'all.
No,
I haven't
that's fine.
I haven't really run into anybody that needs a talking to. I've also been sick for the last month, so I've just been kind of out of it as far as drama and things are
All right, well,
concerned.
that's gonna bring us to our next segment that we have here. And don't worry, we'll have time for just free form conversation in just a bit, but I want to make sure that we get to these. And the next one is the tabletop confession. Tabletop confessional. If you feel like you have a habit at the table that is less than stellar, this is where you come to confess, and we will give you a penance that you will then take forward.
A penance. Oh Lord. This is very interesting because this is stuff that I have been thinking about of like, oh, I want to be a better player. I want to be invited to things, so like I actively have to get better at what I do. I would say for me personally, my tabletop confession is there are times when a lot of my characters tend to fall into the realm of like I'm gonna do a bit. I like making characters that are funny and I enjoy laughing and having fun. This plays into like something I'll probably talk about later, but I come to the table with the sole purpose of having fun and trying to make it fun for everybody else. It's not like you don't have to have fun. Like that's not, I don't care. Like it's my own enjoyment that I'm mostly worried about, but like I find that I do things for the bit and in certain tables it rubs people the wrong way. And if they communicated it to me, I would fix it, but there are a few people that like I don't think enjoy playing with me because they never did communicate with me about it, and I was like, all right, time to be funny, haha. My character decides to steal the thing, and like it's within the realm of what my character like would do. It's not like I'm just and then I go to the store and stab him in the throat. It's like you're a paladin. It's like yeah, but it's funny. It's like my character is like a treasure hunter and you're showing him something shiny. I'm gonna take it. And that I want to play more serious characters. I think I want to facilitate more of a like I still want to make jokes, obviously. Like I'm not gonna give that up. Like that's part of just who I am as a player, and I enjoy bringing that to the table. But like at the same time, like there are moments where I want to be serious, and I think a lot of people sort of misconstrued my actions as like that's all I'm capable of doing, and that's why people like don't necessarily like me. That was a confessional and like an explanation.
I feel like I've also got that same problem in the sense that like I will continue on with the character concept until someone lets me know that it's problematic, or well, not problematic, but something that they don't enjoy at the table. And like the onus is on them to use safety tools. So like I kind of feel like fuck them if they're not using the tools at the table.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think it's such a
to use them, right?
Yeah, it's in like an interesting gray area for me because there's not really a safety tool for bits. Like there, like you think the big things where it's like, oh, like I'm.
Well,
I'm,
I mean
like,
that usually gets handled
triggered by this.
in your session 0, right? Is like
so like that
like,
never really comes up. So
that we're trying to convey, like if you want like a goofy Gabby character, like by all means, but if someone else disagrees agrees with. It's interesting. It's hard. It's hard. With
Yeah,
the
it's definitely a hard
yeah.
conversation to have. I think with me, like, it becomes prevalent, so to speak, when I'm in one shots where it's like the session 0 was this is what's happening. Here are your safety tools. All right, let's get into it. As opposed to like, oh, I have this whole arc planned. This one is just like, I'm a treasure hunter. I'm gonna go take the thing. And it's like, if I had like 2 or 3 more sessions, sure, I'll go through a character arc where he realizes that like he probably shouldn't steal the thing. But this one is just like, there's no consequences. We're not doing anything. Like,
Right. So
we're not critical role.
I feel like some people take game a little too serious.
Okay, that factors into the other things that I want. Literally,
I mean,
like,
because
it is a game. Have fun. I beg
that's
of you.
right. Like that's why we're here, is to have fun. And if me having fun diminishes your fun, then we've got to work on like.
There's got to be a conversation.
Have a conversation,
right?
Yeah, don't be like a petty bitch and go to Twitter about it or something.
I've had that happen to me.
Oh my lord.
It was just like, well, you didn't fucking say anything. How was I like there is I will say there is a reasonable expectation for people to be able to read a room. My deal with that is reading a room is reading the general consensus of the room. If what I'm doing is a problem to one person, I don't think reading the room picks that up. I think reading the room comes into play when like I do a joke and like a couple, like maybe 1 or 2 people are like, ugh. Then my reading the room goes, ooh, step too far. That's when I do the O check, like, hey, did I take a step too far? And people can respond via the safety tools to let me know yes or no. If one person is just sitting there being big mad, stay mad.
Stay mad. Your enjoyment of the game is a priority, but also not my main priority. Like,
yes.
at a certain point, it no longer becomes my responsibility to make sure you're having fun.
Yeah, especially if the way to maintain your fun is me having less fun. Like, if that's the solution, then
like you have to at least be able to come to some sort of compromise or accord where like you
Exactly.
find a middle ground where like you're still having fun, yes, and like it's collaboration and group storytelling, and I think a lot of people forget that is, 1, it's a game, 2, it's collaborative, and like you're all in this together, and 3, be an adult, have a conversation with a person. It's not the conversations are difficult, they're hard to have, but bringing them up and like being like, okay, here's what I want to talk about with this, and like setting like realistic expectations, like it's a good thing. It's a good healthy thing. It's a good healthy these games teach us conflict resolution. Some people forget that conflict resolution isn't just stab thing with sword until gone or attack thing until gone. Maybe that's
no,
my
I like that as a confessional though. Like, I mean, it's the stick in the mud versus the bit player. Like, I'm always gonna be on the side of the bit player, because I feel like a character that starts as kind of like a gag and then becomes like a more serious, like grounded character. I love that a lot more than like a serious grounded character learning to be silly, you know? And I feel like
just more serious.
Right. Honestly, that's
when it comes to
what
certain
happens
one shots, it's like, it's not the fate of the world. Like, we're gonna go collect some chickens. Like, chill out, Grogthar. Like, fuck off. So like, my family was killed. The only way to repent is to collect these chickens. I'm like, bruh, like, lighten the hell up, damn. It's like, no, my family was murdered by a chicken one time. Ever since, I've been training for 1,000 million years. I am a god fallen to earth. It's like, we are level 2? Maybe, like, that's a nice backstory. Maybe have some fun, just a little bit.
But I need to show people that I'm an actor. And
Literal. I think that's like I think people misconstrued storytelling opportunity, like collaborative, epic storyline with like I have to be the most serious guy in the whole world the entire time. It's like, bruh, even I'm gonna use even Critical Role, they have bits and like they're having fun. It's not like, oh my god, guys, my backstory. I can't participate in this. It's just I'm just so not humorous. It's like, all right, great. Are you gonna have a conversation? No, I'm gonna brood in the corner my backstory. It's like, all right, that okay. Thanks, bud.
I like what Momo was saying a little bit ago, is that a secret that no one finds out about is a bad secret in a game.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to ask me about my super edgy backstory?
No. Like, but I truly do feel like we do have a new batch of players that are playing these games not as games, but as like auditions.
Yeah, I mean, there's also that like weird thing with like actual plays where like we're throwing out a casting sheet as like it's no long for a lot of content creators. It's no longer, hey, I enjoy playing with you, like we're friends. It's now like, what can you bring to the table? Like, what can you like do for me while we like make this epic storyline? Like we're making a show here. It's no longer about fun.
Yeah.
Which like luckily I haven't run into that too much, but I think that is just a general issue with it where it's like everybody's trying to be Critical Role and nobody is doing it.
Like, I mean, I think what drives me absolutely up a wall, and I'm kind of curious about your thoughts on this, is that like I feel like everybody's trying to be Critical Role, and everybody who's tried to be the new Critical Role has failed. But we're seeing other shows like Beyond the Numbers, anything D20 puts out, Adventure Zone, like people are finding success by putting out, well, I'm not gonna say people because these are brands that have millions of viewers already. Like, you know, Smosh has their actual play that's 500,000 every time they pull an episode out. D20 has their whole dropout subscriber base. Adventure Zone has everybody that loves the
McElroy.
that's the ones that those guys. I don't fucking know. And it's just like these shows are winning because they have an established brand, and they're also not copying Critical Role. So you would think enough folks would see that to go work on building a brand and then do it our way. But no, I still see a bunch of folks trying to copy the Critical Role method, which is
there is a piece of advice my friend told me, which I think factors really well into this problem, which is streaming is not how you build a community, it's how you cultivate one. You have to already have those people there to watch it before you're like, alrighty, 24-hour stream, let's go. Critical Role, that's what we're doing right now. It's like, okay, that's
What?
great. Nobody's here. Like, congratulations, you're watching it. Your friend tuned in for about 20 minutes before they had to go walk their dog. Let's see, we have a mod team of you. But you know, great. Do what you got to do. And like, no, there's absolutely, when I say this, there's no hate to it. I just like making fun of them a little bit. But you can follow your passions. Like, by all means, if you enjoy what you're doing, do it. It doesn't matter. The numbers are arbitrary and nebulous. You can get however many views for however many reasons. But like, you have to understand, if you're going to treat it like a business, you have to look at it like a business. You can't just expect these things to happen because like, I'm special. Like, I think it's funny. My mom said it was cool. It's like, that's great, but what do you have to offer? And then there's the opposite of that where it's like, what do you have to offer my thing? Where it's like, we're playing just a game. I thought we were friends. It's like, no, we're like coworkers now, which I don't like about the prevalence of all these like actual plays and one shots. And like, I love being on them. I love all the people that play. Like when we're talking, but there's also that like, oh, here's the promo you have to put out. Here's the thing you have to do. Where it's like, I kind of just wanted to show up and hang out. Like I'll do it, but like, does it have to be like this?
I mean, honestly, like I tend to promo anything that I'm on just out of good faith. But you're right, when somebody's just like, and make sure that there's 3 posts about it every week. We want to post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when it's just like, y'all paying me though, right?
If you like the promos that you do, like you can do it out of like good faith because you enjoy the people, you want people to see like this game, it's fun. But if you expect me to like actively schedule and labor over it, then
that's why
you have to pay me.
When I sent you the promos for this episode, I'm like, if you want to post it to your socials, here you go. I don't care either way.
Shit, did I forget to do that?
Oh, you're fine.
We don't care either way.
I know.
You retweeted everything. You're fine. Like that's literally the minimum, bare minimum that I expect.
I tend to do that. That's where I am with that. Like I'll post stuff to my story, I think, when I remember. A lot of it is just like I've fallen into the habit of doing like my 2 posts for the day of the story where it's like Twitch, and now I have Ko-fi. I'm like, go over there too. And then I'm like, great, here's a low-res selfie you can look at. That's all my promo is.
Here's a low-res selfie of me looking very tired.
Literally, that's the one I posted today where it's like Twitch stream today and it's just me in this chair like...
I also have to ask, is that a Molly Mock coat behind you?
No, it is a Howl Pendragon. I do want a Molly Mock one though. I feel like that'd be fun to cosplay. I want to get back into cosplay in general, but this is what I brought to Gen Con.
I've got to get fitness goals before I do cosplay.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel that like anybody can cosplay anything for any reason. You don't have to be fit to do it. Like if you have fun doing it, then do it. But at the same time, I'm like, I want people to like look at me and cry.
Like, yeah, I mean, I could be a thick Miles Morales right now if I want to, but like I also like
it's like a personal like goal.
Yeah, it's a personal goal, and also like everybody wants that cosplay that makes people bored.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest.
Let's all be honest here. That's why we're doing it.
AJ, I just want to be able to do a flip before I cosplay as Miles or a Power Ranger.
Honestly, that's valid. I'm here for
There's
it.
nothing wrong with that. I remember talking with HP, who has not HP, good lord, KP, who has like the best Gilmore cosplay. And I was just like, that's my goal. I want somebody
to be that.
I want somebody to think of a character and see my goofy ass face.
KP or KP11 Studios Gilmore is incredible.
It's too good. I have to stop him. He has to be stopped. So another thing that I'm kind of noticing is there seems to be like a little bit of a gap between the Twitch TikTokers of the TTRPG space and like the Twitter TTRPG space. Is that something that I'm just imagining, or is that something that you've noticed as well?
There is definitely an interesting divide. I think with like, it's like short form versus long form in a sense. Because with Twitch, you just got to be on like the whole time. With Twitter, it's the same as like posting on like TikTok or Instagram. It's like you do your funny haha and then people scroll past. So there's that like, I don't know. There's definitely a change. There are like some people who are much bigger on Twitter than they are on Twitch. And then there are the people who are bigger on Twitch than they are on Twitter. That's me. I mean, both are relatively small compared to like all my other platforms. But like, I don't know. It's also probably because I ignore Twitter for the most part, and
No,
Twitch, like, it is slow going.
You're very wise to do so. I'm trying to escape this hell. uh,
My
so-
Twitter is bad D&D takes and titties. Those are the only things I see.
Mine too. Mine too. I mean, so my next question is, it is the what is it? Oh my god, stereotypical interview question, which is what do you see coming up next for yourself? Like, what are your goals for your brand and your on your platforms?
I'm gonna my goal, what I see for myself. I want to start getting more sponsorships. I want to do this full time, whether that's like between being paid for that or like just TikTok and Twitch and all that. So I'm gonna be like actively doing more of it because before I only streamed 3 days a week. Now I moved it to 5, and now we have more content to do that I have. But other than that, I just want to be on more projects, get to know more people in the space.
Hell yeah. Do you
I
have
don't
any
know.
dream companies? Any dream sponsorships?
Masks. Masks are, I don't know, Wizards of the Coast, I guess, just because I have that recognition of D&D in my mind space. But I think overall, I want to start making the jump more to Twitch. I think that is where a majority of my income will come from. And just being able to do that consistently is a lot easier for me than like TikTok, where like the views are wildly different depending on like the time of day, the phase of the moon, whether or not like Jeff Bezos has eaten a bagel today. I don't like it's just the payouts are also very bad on like short form content things.
Yeah.
I've heard.
It's like
not
two,
even
2
eligible.
cents. I love it. Oh Lord.
I'm not eligible, baby.
I don't even know. Let's go. Once you start worrying about it, life is hell.
Yeah.
No, I definitely feel that. I've been contemplating doing more pro GM stuff, like start playing games and the like. I remember you saying that you were gonna have a talk with them. Is that something that you've considered doing, like running games for people? I think.
Yeah, I really enjoy writing. So, writing all these campaigns. I have like a million ideas. Some of them are good, some of them are terrible. But it's sort of to do like promos for Start Playing. But I have considered it just as like, because I don't have that like regular income anymore because I quit my job when I moved because I couldn't keep it. And this essentially became my job,
Yeah.
as well as like some other freelance editing stuff that I do for my friend that I haven't been paid for yet. But I think Start Playing as like an income source would be very helpful. I just also don't have a lot of the resources that I could be giving to them. So like I wouldn't really be able to charge as much for it.
I feel that, like, like I've that's something that I've never done, which is a promo for somebody. That gives me the heebie-jeebies because it's just like, I don't know. That's just something I've never done. So I'm very eager to see you on that adventure.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We are. Let's see. What is there any other
Oh, absolutely.
questions that we've
Let's
got,
go.
or what's going on?
Okay,
My-
so
my-
we have
I've misplaced the notebook that has my list.
how dare. Don't, fortunately, I remember.
Oh, that
Before
one.
we go to like the ultimate, we're gonna do a little positivity before the negativity. So this is the place for you to tell us what your signature thing is. Like, what do you feel that you do better than the average person? Usually it's like what's your signature GM move, what's your signature player move, but right now I'm just asking you in general, what is your signature thing?
I would say my signature GM move would probably be my descriptions for things.
Mm.
I think between like plot lines and villains and stuff, I enjoy writing sympathetic ones, people with like who are just sort of down and out, and I think that it's reflected in a lot of my writing. But I think in terms of what I do best as a GM is, implementing people's backstories and making them like very intrinsic to the plot or just descriptions in general. I think I paint a very clear picture. In terms of players, I think my signature move is honestly just being comedy relief. I think that I bring a certain level of levity to a situation. And some of this is not just me tooting my own horn or anything, but like some of my friends have told me that exact thing, that certain characters I have, there is reason behind what I'm doing as a joke. It's not just humor for the sake of it. It's like, it pertains to the character I'm playing. And that's why some of my best work is on Heroes of Bastion, where my character is sort of a joke, but there's that level of insecurity. There's that like using humor as a coping mechanism during a stressful situation, as opposed to just being like, I don't even care that we're about to die. I think it's really funny if I just like do this thing. And that's probably why it's one of my favorite characters. But I think that is probably my best work. That is the thing I do best, is just being funny and bringing that light to a very serious situation, because usually everybody else in the space is like, and vengeance will be mine one day, and like some of them do it really well, others not so much.
Not so much. Oh no, I like that. And this is the spot for you to toot your own horn. So I like to toot your own horn. So I respect that. The next bit we have is the community spotlight. So if there's anyone that has made you feel particularly welcome in the space, or anyone that you think needs to get more love than they're getting.
I got a list.
And of course, if there's anybody you think we need to reach out to and try to get them on here, please let us know.
Alrighty, let's go down the list. I have so many friends that need more attention. We're gonna start with love of my life, D&D imposter, Chris KRIS, Chris. They have so much insight and are so good in the space, so to speak. They don't have like nearly as many followers as like most people, but like that's because it's not really their focus. They have like other things to do, but they are honestly such a positive presence in the space, and they're so welcoming and they're so funny, and they are very supportive of other people, their friends, and I am honestly just so happy to know them. So I would highly recommend reaching out to them, because they have a lot of really great insights on just tabletop gaming in general. We got my boy Alec the Bard, love him. He is in the same boat as me. We both recently took the plunge into doing content full time, to different levels of success, and we've just been making a lot of stuff together, and I love that man like a brother. Let's see what else. I'm gonna go down my like list. Latinos Against Spooky Shit, they're a much bigger creator, but I fucking love Jonathan so much. They are my bestest friend, my best boy. I've only recently started talking to them a bit more, and they've just been so great. And then there's Golden Arrow, or Golden Arrow. I just called him Golden. But Golden Arrow, who does the Lilac cosplay with James T. George, who is also really great. Both super fun people to be around. I give I give Golden a lot of shit, but that's just because I think it's funny. But the two of them, they're really great too. They make cosplay content, and they're like super well known for it, and I love them. Just gonna keep scrolling through.
We have D&D imposter Alec the Bard. Who was the other?
Against spooky shit.
Latinos against
Golden Arrow and James T. George and some other people. Caminator, the animator, is really great. They are my wife, and I love them. We have Relentless. They're also really cool. I think they do really good character work in whenever they're like part of something, they can do a lot with very little, and I think that's honestly super impressive. I love having them at the table. I've had them like in 1 or 2 one shots.
Oh man, we're getting some good folks to reach out
Yeah.
to.
Odinson doesn't really
Oh!
do content as much anymore, but has recently been getting into it a little bit more.
I remember Odin he was killing it on TikTok, and
Yeah.
he's got
Odin,
such
like,
good
when I-
videos.
Yeah, Odin went on a hiatus because I think they just kind of lost interest. Like it became more of a job to them, I think. So now
Yeah.
they're like doing it sparingly, but like they have a lot of interesting opinions. I think they would be great. Let's see, Arclight is fun. I'm literally just scrolling through the Discord to like see Saf. I love Saf. Cleric Error, who I believe changed their name to Sufficient now. Sufficient. I'm really just going through it. All of these people are so lovely. I love them all. And Two With Links. Those are all the people I talk to.
Oh, yeah.
Two With Links is
Hell
great.
yeah.
Luke is so positive.
Aw, that's wonderful.
I really like that. That's awesome. Oh, see, we got ourselves a big old helping of positivity.
Yeah.
Now let's get to the shit.
We're getting into it. All right, let's get into it.
If you've been in the TTRPG space for long enough, you have probably had the displeasure of playing with a bad guy. A bad guy is a veritable black hole of fun at the table, someone that if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience would increase 100-fold. So I have to ask you, do you have a bad guy story for us?
I do, and it plays into the stuff I was talking about earlier about like not communicating whether or not a bit is bothering you.
Yeah.
I won't use names because they're kind of big in the space and they will cancel me, and I just don't want to catch that flack. A handful of my friends do know who it is, and they'll probably be really entertained by me talking shit. But so let me paint you a picture. A while ago, I played this treasure hunter character, a frog named Hopscotch. And we were playing in a one-shot, and it was like, go to this house, steal this thing, get back with it. My character, per se, was not necessarily affiliated with this, like, group, so he was sort of in it for himself. And, like, he'll work with the team, he'll do, like, stuff, but like overall if the thing strikes him as like I want it, then like he's gonna take it. There's a whole backstory. Like the reason behind it was like his mom was a legendary treasure hunter and he wanted so badly to emulate her. As she was gotten on in age and began to forget more of herself, he would sort of try to replicate her adventures and then come back home and tell them to her alongside like whatever riches he could procure. And I thought it was a really cute story. I didn't really have time to like flesh it out during game because it was a one shot, but like I really liked the character. But for the most part, it was just like a chaos little frog. So as we're playing, right, I have no problem with people being serious. That's great. But this person sort of shows up with like this hardened criminal, like my character is wreathed in gold and melted gold, and like the candles flicker above their head, and I'm like, we're level 3. What is happening? And as that continued, I'm like, okay, great. You know, you're serious. I'm trying to like start a rapport. I'm like, oh, you know, what's your story, friend? Like, and kind of being like, I like to do blah, blah, blah. And they're like, do not talk to me. Like, you're a peasant to me. I'm like, oh, homie, I'm just saying hi. It's like, I'm trying to piece together whether or not like you're worth keeping around. And like, one of the tests like was for the character we were introduced to was like, oh, show me what you can do. And I'm like, okay, I go steal from the nearest guy. I take his wallet and like his family portrait or whatever. I want to steal the stuff right out from under him. And like, that's the level of bit that I was sort of doing, where it's like, I want to steal something important, but not something that like has any value to him.
Right.
Or where it's like, I'm gonna steal his like locket with his family portraits in it. I think it's funny. So like I go to some NPC and I steal it and I come back, I'm like, this is what I can do. And I guess that like rubbed them the wrong way, but they didn't say anything about it. Or like just in general, I don't know. This is like the first time I had played with this person. And I'm just trying to like kind of get them to lighten the hell up. But you know, the quest continues. I do more bits. I'm just having a fun time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to like sneak in through the sewer. So I go into the grate and just go do that. And like that took me out of the game for a bit. I'm like, that's fine. I don't like other people can do their thing. But like I had a deck of illusions, so I started throwing them up to like try to distract from like to get them out of the house. And while it might have been on me to like explain like, oh, that's my plan, I just kind of did it to see what would happen. And so there was like a beholder and like 4 dragons just wandering around outside and nobody like knew. I'm like, that's funny. I enjoy it. I think it's humorous. And like that's just more fuel to the flame for this fucking guy. And I'm like, all right, that's great. I don't care anymore. I sneak in, I look around, we all reunite, we go through our paces and like investigate the house. And I'm kind of taking a back seat and like letting them do their thing. And you know, eventually we discover like, oh, here's the thing. The thing we were coming to steal was like a genie thing. And there were like 3 magic items on the table, and I'm like, I'm gonna go just take the genie thing. And like I rolled high to get it, and I'm like, now it's mine. And the rest of them are like, all right, now give it to me. And I'm like, no. Why would I? I have not interacted with any of you for longer than 5 minutes. There are some of you that are pretty cool, but I'm taking this. So I summoned the genie like in a freet or whatever, and like I didn't get the wishes, but I did get like, all right, I'm just gonna leave with this guy because like he is under my command, and like they kill me, and I'm like, that's fine. This character doesn't matter enough to me where I'm like, dude, you fucking murdered me? Like that's you're such a piece of shit. Or it's like the other one where I think like they were like actively trying to just like murder my ass and take it, but like I pretty much used up all the commands, and the genie just left, and I'm like, suck a dick. Like at this point, it was just a matter of being petty, where I'm like, I'm just gonna take this. This is mine now, and like I'm gonna try to ruin this for you, because like now you're just being mean to me.
Yeah, it sounds like this person was actively allergic to fun.
Like, kind of, yeah. I don't know. They're just super. All of their characters are always like super serious, and like I'm always 50 steps ahead. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Like that's great. Like I understand it is a difference of values when it comes to playing the game, and like that's great. I don't want to share a table with you anymore, but like at least I know this now. But like don't hold it against me that like this is the way I play.
It's
and
when
later
your
on,
are incompatible. It's
like and like they'll show up in like servers that I'm in, and they'll talk, and they'll just, I don't know, they just don't have a good energy. I don't like them. And like I thought I was the only one. I thought everybody else was like on board with this person, but a lot of my close friends, they're like, yeah, we don't like them either. And I'm like, oh, thank God. All right, I'm not just alone in this. But like what really did it for me were, because like I was like lukewarm about them. I was still actively trying to be their friend to a degree. I'm like, oh yeah, we could like play Overwatch or whatever. Like we're in the same group. I don't really talk to you, but I'll like say hi, like, oh, how's your day? But like what rubbed me the wrong way, we were sitting in a voice chat and we were talking about D&D, and they're like, from what I've seen of how you play, like, you know, you're very like bit oriented. But like just let people have their moment. I'm like, I literally didn't say anything for like 10 minutes to let you do your fucking like, and then I drip liquid gold into his skull and then he dies. And I'm like, okay, what did that add to this? Like, you're doing the same shit I'm doing. It's just yours is like painfully serious. But I'm like, you don't know enough about how I play. Like, and I understand, like, it's because they haven't seen much of what I do. Like, I play serious characters. I'll have like my moments to do this, and I'll let people do their thing. But like, don't render judgment about me and like take the moral high ground and like talk down to me if you don't know what the fuck I do.
I mean, honestly, that's laughable in the sense that, like, hey, you what you do are bits, and you need to let people have room to breathe. It's called a bit because it happens in bit.
Yeah, literally, like I'm not doing it the whole campaign. Like I'm talking to you, we're planning shit out. I'm not just like, and then I leave to go to a whorehouse. I'll see you guys later. It's funny. I'm Scanlan. Like it's fucking. That is another thing that like people who make Scanlan clones. I'm like, I was guilty of this when I first started, and I didn't have a grasp of how this works. But like, Stop it. Stop it. But yeah, that's my story, and I can't even like actively tell people about this because then like it'll find their way back to them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna catch shit just because you don't know how to like have fun, and like you're gonna go to Twitter and fucking complain about it, and then like suddenly I'm not allowed at any tables. I'm like, I'm done with it, honestly.
Honestly, I get I get rid of that worry. I will say that I have upset some people, and I know for a fact that they try to keep me out of tables. No one person has that much pull, so don't even worry about it. But yeah, that sounds like somebody that just sucks to be around.
Yeah, it really does. I don't know. It's always like this very. I mean, I think there was only ever like one game where like they weren't super serious about it, and I'm like, okay, you have like variety, but it's just I don't know. I think it's a whole lot of like moving cogs that made this like just the worst experience, and I'm like, I don't want
It's so
to play
hard
with
to
you
judge
because
somebody off of a one shot too.
exactly, and like this
To
might
judge
also be
someone's
me
entire
doing the
play
same
style
thing,
off of
but
a
like.
one shot.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, just as a person as well, like they always give me like weird energy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure you hate me, and like I tried to be your friend, but like I'm honestly not going to concern myself with it anymore. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I just don't want to share a table with you. And like I've discovered recently, apparently people don't invite them to tables for the same reason. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I feel vindicated."
But that's the one thing I'll say about this space, which is the space knows who the assholes are, but there's like an apprehension around conflict, so assholes get to kind of exist until they cross a line, and then everybody goes, "Yep, they're an asshole. We knew they were an asshole this whole time," and then like an entire backlog of stories will come out about this person all at once. So
Literally.
I'm not at all surprised to hear this. I'm glad you made it out that game, and I hope that you never have to play with that motherfucker again.
That is the goal. It is unfortunate to say the least, but you know.
The yikes! That just sounds rough. Anita, do you have a bad guy story for us this week?
This week? Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I let me do you have a that guy story? Just
Yeah, I do.
all right.
All right. Just playing a game and with a GM that does not like me and negs my character and gives them penalties for no reason. And we were playing this game a couple of times over, and it's just like whatever. It's just like we finally make it to the end of this game, and quite literally in the final moments of the game, they just go, and your character dies a brutal, gruesome death. That's the end of the game, everybody. I hope you had fun. And I'm like,
Yeah, a cutscene kills your character.
yeah, I got cutscene killed for quite literally no, like, there's a mechanic in the game that says if you do something a certain amount of times, you die.
Is it Call of Cthulhu?
No, it was Monster of the Week. And like if you use luck so many times, then you get into the doom area. And I had one whole luck left, and I got the doom punishment even though I had a luck left, and they just viciously killed my character. It's just like, oh, okay. And it's just like, I So I will say that's my that guy story is just a GM who has been and continues to be antagonistic.
Uh,
Like the 1v1 GM. Like the 1v1
1v1
me in this game where I am God. So like that is my bad guy story.
Attack and dethrone me, bitches.
Oh,
Mine is it was a charity one shot
Oh Lord, Cherry.
for
Oh,
charity. And this GM starts off the session 0 with I'm gonna kill your characters, ha 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 ha. And so I think challenge accepted, and I build a Way of the Long Death Monk.
can't die as long as I got key plates, motherfucker.
Keep popping back up, baby. This GM
let's go.
this GM brings in a self-insert stat block NPC that's this unkillable monster, and puts us up against like a Yuan-Ti god and like several other things, like actively trying to kill us. And at the end I was just like, no, I'm gonna make sure my character goes out on my terms. So my character went and I think we were level 30, and I chose like an astral projection feat. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I can't beat this thing, then I'm going to warn others of its existence. So I will wander the astral sea forever out of my body, warning people that this thing is coming.
I personally hate bullshit GMs. There's nothing that makes my forehead itch more than a GM that's bad.
Honestly.
All right. Well, I think we are at 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I think we're good to start winding down. I wanted to check with you. Anita, do you have any remaining questions?
I do not. I am no thought, head empty.
And is there anything that you want to let the people know? You've got full mic control. Let the folks know where to find you, what you're up to, or just cuss them out for 5 minutes. I don't care.
All right, listen here, fucker. No.
Yeah.
You can find me at Hamasamakun on all social media platforms. I am most active on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. You can find me right there, that little linky boy. And I do stuff and things there. It's mostly D&D memes. So if you enjoyed my brief stint here on the Critical Misses Twitch channel, then you will get a whole lot of the same energy at mine, as well as during my videos. I sit around, do D&D Against Humanity with fans, draw on MS Paint, say things that'll probably get me canceled. But it's a fun time overall. Hope to see you guys there. You can also find me at Hot Asian D&D on eventually Twitch, mostly on YouTube right now, where we have a handful of episodes. That's Hot Asian D&D. It's a fun story, Asian-inspired fantasy setting, and the characters are hot. Where else? You can also find me on 5% Chance at some point. I'm going to be on a Call of Cthulhu miniseries.
Ooh.
And keep an eye out for some other things that I end up doing whenever that is. I do stuff. Could not think of much else, but I had fun, and that's what matters.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn right. I personally look forward to seeing you in a lot more stuff. I've got to share a table with you at some point so we can both be goofy goobers that piss off an overseer's motherfucker.
The goofy goobers.
All games, all goofy games.
Right, I should probably start doing the outro, I guess.
Probably.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Anyway, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Enigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Hive, Thread, OnlyFans, RedTubes. I whoops, forget those last ones.
That reminds me, that's actually where I am too. I've decided to start a new era of my content.
Just nothing but spicy content. On my OnlyFans. On my OnlyFans. All balls, all the time.
Plums.
Christ.
I don't know how we talk people into coming
Do you
to
have?
these shows.
What are you doing? Where are you? Where can I? Else can you? What?
All right, every
Projects.
Monday you can find me over on Alt Haven for our Silver Creek game where we're playing with dinos. It's a good time. Also on Mondays, you can find me over on Queen Game Society, where I am GMing Harlem Hellfighters Never Die, a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition game set in 1920s Harlem with an all black cast, and we're beating up cops. Listen, if you watch what happened in Montgomery and was like, man, I wish that was the actual play. Man, do I have the actual play for you? Let's see. What else do I do? Every Friday, you can find me over on Gen Con TV, where I host our TTRPG business talk show, Table Takes. And then Table Takes Plays comes on after that. Every Thursday, you can find me on oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm doing too much stuff. Now I've absolutely lost everything that I was thinking of because you did that to me.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Thursdays, right? That's the thing that I was saying. You can find me on Nerdsmith for our Kids on Bikes game. It's been a hell of a time, so please go ahead and check that out. And then again, you can find me on Saturdays for Morning Ritual, and then on Sundays on Indoor Adventure Gaming. I did too much shit. I can't remember shit. I smoked too much weed. Anita, save me. Do your outro.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anita, otherwise known as Panita or Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and cat mom about the space. You can find me everywhere at Panita or at Critical Misses. We are. I've got Mondays, nothing, because my game ended. Tuesdays, you can find me over on Modifius's channel for Star Trek Adventures actual play that we run with some wonderful folks. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nothing. Saturdays, Morning Ritual. Sundays, you can find me over on Indoor Adventures for our Apocalypse Keys actual play, where I play a literal angel of God. And I think that's about it for me, but we're actually in the process of doing casting and GM calls for our next slate of actual plays. So if you want to sign up to run a game with Critical Misses, let me grab the link to the handy dandy Google form, and you can sign up and run a game with us. We handle all the casting and promos and overlays and everything. You just gotta focus on bringing a cool story. But yeah, that's it. That's all. That's me. We should probably go on a raid. That's a thing that streamers do, right?
Yeah, occasionally.
We should raid somebody that we absolutely loathe and despise.
Okay. So who we
Absolutely
who we hate rating?
despise them. Just
Like, I mean, we gotta make sure
we're not hate rating anybody.
full on hate them.
just the
Oh,
We're
worst.
gonna go say hi to the Lovely because
This
Sam,
fucking no, I'm just kidding.
we love one whole the Lovely. We're gonna go say hi to
Christ.
our good friend Sam DeLev over at D Lovely. Thank you all so much for stopping by and hanging out with us today. It's been an absolute blast. But until next time, everybody, the ritual has concluded. Bye.
Bye, motherfuckers.
What button do I press? This button.